Hey guys, Butler Bulldog Bill here, and here it is Monday. The second and third rounds of the NCAA tournament have been completed. I don't know about you guys, probably a lot of you are in the same boat as me, but your brackets are shot. Um, it's a humbling experience when you watch so much college basketball and you think you know a lot about it, and then the tournament just completely, you know, shatters what belief you have, what knowledge you think you have. It's crazy how you know all the stats, all the performances that you see during the regular season basically don't mean anything in March. um, there was upsets that I predicted in this NCAA tournament, which a lot of the experts were predicting as well, so I felt pretty confident in my picks, and those upsets didn't end up happening, but other ones did that people didn't even call, like Lehigh over Duke, Norfolk State over Missouri, Ohio over Michigan. Now, I did have somebody in my pool pick Ohio over Michigan, so I can't say that nobody didn't think of that. I had Wichita State beating VCU. That didn't happen. Notre Dame lost to Xavier. I didn't have that. NC State over NC State over San Diego State. Then they beat Georgetown, and South Florida over Temple. The list can go on. Purdue over St. Mary's. Oh, it's just hard to predict this tournament. It's so very, 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 very hard to have a pretty decent bracket year after year. Usually, if you win it one year, win your pool, the very next year you're just utter crap. And this year my bracket's been utter crap. This is probably the worst year as far as the bracket pools are concerned for myself. But anyway, about this tournament, I recapped the first day of the second round on Friday and Friday morning, and the tournament. I was really disappointed with the tournament up to that point because we didn't see really any upsets other than VCU beat Wichita State, which I didn't really feel was an upset because both teams were mid majors, and Colorado, the 11 seed over 6 seeded UNLV, which I also did not feel was an upset because I have a hard time seeing a power conference over a mid-major as an upset. Even though how bad Colorado was compared to UNLV, I just couldn't see it in that light. But I was pretty disappointed up to that point because other than the VCU Wichita State game, no games had come down to the wire. To the final shot. There were no overtime games, and there still haven't been any overtime games. There wasn't really any upsets. And then Friday came around, and NC State took down San Diego State, which, by the seeding, that's an upset. I still didn't really consider it, and I was still pretty bored, and I was about ready to give up hope. And around 4 o'clock, 4:30 that day, there was a game that came on. It was Missouri and Norfolk State, the 2 and the 15 seed. And as this game was going on, I started, the whole 1-16 thing wasn't going to happen thanks to the referee screwing over UNC Asheville against Syracuse on Thursday. But as the game between Missouri and Norfolk State, came to a conclusion, there was this hope building up inside me. We haven't seen a 15 seed beat a 2 seed in 11 years. And I wasn't able to watch the last time. I wasn't able to watch any of the 15 seeds beat 2 seeds. At the time, I was in elementary school, and in Indiana, sometimes they will, you'll have teachers even in elementary school that'll put the game on TV, and if we got our work done, if we behaved, our teachers would let us watch the tournament. That's how it goes in Indiana. That's just how we do things here. Basketball is a really important part of our lives. But we never got a chance to see that because it wasn't in our area, or that game wasn't. It was either late at night or the teachers didn't put the game on at that particular time. But I was hoping to actually be able to watch it live, a 15 seed beat a 2 seed, and I don't know. I still had this doubt inside me. It's so hard for it to happen. There's Norfolk State's going to choke. I'd kind of followed them throughout the regular season, and they held on to the MEAC lead, conference lead, till about the last few weeks of the season. They fell apart, and Savannah State won the regular season title of the MEAC. But I was really giving up hope, and and it got closer and closer, and to the buzzer, and I was really hoping for it to happen, but I was expecting the worst. Fortunately, Norfolk State defeated them. I mean, it ruined my bracket as far as Missouri was one of my Final Four teams. But it was really awesome. I never root for how my bracket goes anyway. I'm always rooting for the underdogs. I'm always rooting for the mid-majors. But I was really ecstatic to see that happen. But never, ever, ever in a million years did I expect to see what was going to come after that. And that was another 15 seed defeat a 2 seed. I mean, it only happened, before that particular day, it only happened 4 times ever. And it had been 11 years since the last one. That was the longest, gap in between 15 seeds beating 2 seeds. Well, I guess to make up for that long gap, it had to happen twice in the one round. And it all happened in the same day. And I was even more excited for Lehigh to take down Duke, because I don't have any hard feelings with Missouri. I've never really liked Duke. I love Coach Mike Krzyzewski. Love him to death because he's one of Bob Knight's, proteges. But the Lehigh over Duke game, it just topped it off. It was so awesome, Lehigh had this player, I don't know his first name, but his last name's Knutson. And I took a major liking to the guy right off the bat because he looked like Matt Howard. He looked like Andy Samberg. And I don't know. When I have my hat off here, I got some crazy hair, so people think that it's all tucked away in my hat right now. But I've got comparisons to Andy Samberg and to Matt Howard, depending on how long my hair gets. It's pretty close to getting there again. My fiance says I should cut it, but anyway, I just took a major liking to the guy, and I couldn't believe it. I really thought Lehigh was going to blow it there in the end, and they didn't. They won the game, and I was extremely happy for them. Now I was really disappointed that neither them or Norfolk State was able to win their third round games, but at least they got to that point, and that's what I'm really excited about. That Lehigh and Norfolk State became household names because of what they did. So I've got to send out kudos to them. Great job, guys. And the other game that happened that night, that was the major upset. Ohio, the 13 seed over Michigan, which was 4 seed, and that was freaking awesome as well. Ohio has made some noise a couple of years ago when they were a 14 seed and they took down 3rd seeded Georgetown, and here they come into this game and they take down Michigan. And then, right after that, South Florida, the 12 seed, coming out of the first round games, defeats 5 seed Temple. And then, just last night, Ohio takes down South Florida. So Ohio in the Sweet 16 as a 13 seed. First time that's happened since 2006 when the Bradley Braves did it. But, still no overtime games in this tournament. Still haven't had a buzzer beater. I've been hoping for that. The Sweet 16, 13 of these 16 teams have won a national championship before. Kentucky's got 7 championships. Indiana's got 5. Baylor, none. Xavier, none. Michigan State has 2. Louisville has 2. Marquette has 1. Florida has 2. Syracuse has 1. Wisconsin has 1. Cincinnati has 2. Ohio State has 1. North Carolina has 5. Ohio has none. North Carolina State has 2, and Kansas has 2. So I'm really hoping somebody new wins a championship this year. I'd love to see Ohio do it. I'm not a Xavier fan. I'd love to see Ohio do it, being a mid-major. Probably not going to happen. But if not, I want to see Baylor do it since they don't have a championship. But anyway, we've got some interesting matchups in the Sweet 16. Indiana and Kentucky, Part 2. I have a really bad feeling Indiana's going to get blown out. Kentucky's going to be coming for blood. I'm sure they haven't live down that moment where they got beat on a three-pointer at the buzzer at Indiana. And this is a neutral site game. This is in the middle of SEC country. This does not favor Indiana one bit. Like I said, Kentucky has let this, this is going to drive them. It's going to motivate them to come back and beat the tar out of the Hoosiers. And the other thing is, every team Kentucky has played this year, they have defeated. The loss they had, except for Indiana, the loss they had to Vanderbilt, they'd already beat them 2 times earlier in the season. They are not going to go through a season, letting somebody like Indiana beat them twice. I just have a really bad feeling they're going to beat Indiana. I want Indiana to win with all my heart, but I just don't see it happening. Not saying it's not possible. I'm just saying it's not likely. I'd really love to see Ohio take down North Carolina, in the Sweet 16. But hopefully we have some great games ahead. We still haven't seen a buzzer beater. I want that really, really bad. I'd like to see an overtime game. Not one of the most exciting tournaments that I've ever seen so far. If it wasn't for Lehigh and Norfolk State, being the 15 seeds to upset the 2 seeds, it would have really sucked. And Ohio as a 13 seed, getting as far as they have, that's been pretty exciting. But as a whole, it's not, been the greatest tournament that I've ever seen. It's probably one of the bottom ones. 08 was really bad. It seemed like every game was a blowout. None of them were close, except for the national championship when Kansas took down Memphis in overtime. But other than that game, that tournament kind of blew. And this one is close to that. Not too bad, but it's down there. But anyway, thanks for watching, guys, and I hope to see you again very soon. Go Hoosiers, go Baylor, go Ohio Bobcats. Take down Kentucky. Anybody but Kentucky for me. So anyway, have a good day, guys.